for heaven? No, I know a lot of people like to do one-on-one.
Okay, the Mishnah had said that there's midah keneged midah, for good things, for not good things, and for good things. And the Mishnah gave an example that Yosef was in Besasek with Kvuras Yaakov. So b'meila, so he was zoicha that also he was the head in Mitzrayim. So he was zoicha that Moshe was Besasek with him. Okay, let's see the Gemara now. That's the Gemara. Maishno, why is there a difference? May caught in the beginning, the Ksiva said, Vayam Yosef Likbar Esabav. Vayahu Itay, it's all part of the pasuk. Kol Avdei Parei, V'hoda B'chol Beis Yosef, V'echov Ubeis, V'chol Oilam Itay Likbar. No, that's what be B'chol Beis Aviv. So that's in the beginning. So the brothers are mentioned at the end. Umayshno, why is it at the end? Iksiv, Yosef Yosef Mitzrayim, Hu ve'echov, v'hoda v'chol ha'olam itelik v'esav.
Different orders.
So it's different order, but first they mention at the end, and then they mention right after Yosef. Amar Rabbi Yechon. So Rabbi Yechon said, in the beginning, they didn't know about that Yankiv and that the Yidden or something. So so they thought it's a bunch of an ordinary family having a funeral. But at the end, and they saw they covered that Yosef, and Yosef put his crown out over there. Is Nagu Behem covered. The Ksiv, Vayaboyu Ad Gaiden Ha'otat. Now, a Gaiden is a place where when you take off the tfu in the field, so you have to work at the tfu. You have to get the kernels out and clear them and everything. Otad is a thorn. So it says they came to the thorn of the Gaiden of the thorns. Practical Gemara, is there such a thing as for thorns? There's not any work you have to do over there. So how could you have a Gaiden for thorns? So Timor Amar Avavua Muhammad she hikifuha kesarim laroine shel Yaakov. That on the order of Yaakov, they each king put his crown on it. By a gaiden, you make a thorns around it. You close it off. So you make what we call a barbed wire fence. You make a fence. So it looked on all the crowns on the Oren, made it look like a fence on it. So that's why he called it a fence of thorns. Zot the Gemara. Shabal b'nei Esav b'nei Yishmael b'nei Keturah. All these other nations came, and Tana we learned in the Braisa calling them Mechamabo. They heard that there's a lot of Jews over there, so they came. Let's have a chance. Like this guy Gevir came here, he's coming to get in the Chavi, to make trouble. Kiva Sharo, Kisra Shal Yosef, Tolu Barona Shal Yaakov. When they saw upset, we got to be careful over here. Look, Yosef's crown is here. Notlu Kuan Kisrayim, Utuam Barona Shal Yaakov. And Tana we learned in the Braisa, Shloshim B'Shisha Kasarim Nitlu Barona Shal Yaakov. There were 36 crowns from all these nations on Yaakov's Oren. By Yisvatu Shom Misput Gadol, they made a big hesped and a big wailing, recovered ma'ayid and very very heavy. That matana afilu susam afilu chamaydim. They even the animals were crying. Everyone felt that there's something that happened over here, something important. Once they reached the Ma'ara Samapela in Chevron, Also Esav is a Kumiskin Esav. Kamaka, he's stopping the
Holding the
funeral.
procession.
Lahan, he said to them, listen, Mamre Kirya Sa'abahi Chevron. Mamre is also known as Kiryas Abba. V'amar Rabbi Yitzchak, Kiryas Abba. Why is it called Kiryas Abba? Because Abba's Zugos, there were 4 pairs that were buried over there. Adam v'Chava, Avram v'Sara, Yitzchak v'Rivka, Yaakov v'Leah. Ihu covered Leah b'didei. He buried Leah in his portion. You know that wife he took to be together with him. V'hai the Parish, now there's one more left over there. So Didi belongs to me.
Why?
What?
Why?
Because
It's his son. He's his husband.
he said that the 4th one, he doesn't own 2. He buried her in his chelik. He said that the 4th one is for me and him.
Oh, so it's supposed to be Yosef and Yaakov.
Yeah, for me and him.
So you took your place, you gave it to your wife.
Amalei Zavinta. You forgot, you sold it. So he said to the people, this is part of an argument, a dialogue that's going on. Nehei Zavina Bechirusa, I taka sold my Bechayra. Of Pshitusa, mi Zavina, I'm still one brother. Before I should get an extra portion, but the
regular portion is mine.
Amalei in. Yeah, you sold everything. You have no rights over there. The Ksiv, Yankov said, Bekibriya Shekorisa Li, and Ba'amar Rabbi Yechon Mishum Rav Shimon Ben Yetzadik, and Kira El Loshem Achira. Yaakov said, they should take me to the burial place that I bought. Shekain Bekacha Yam Kaidim Machira Kira. So he used that expression. Omar Lahu, so Esav said to them, Havali Igrasa, you have a document?
Yeah, sure.
Prove it. Amalei Igrasa Ba'ara the Mitzrayim. The document is back in Mitzrayim where we lived before. Uman Nazel, who's going to go to bring it? Nazel Naftali, the Kolil Ki Ayalta. He is very light. He's light on his feet. The Ksiv Naftali Ayola Shlucha, Hanoisen Imre Shofar. Now, Hanoisen Imre Shofar means that he gives good news. So he says, Al Tikre Imre Shofar, Ela Imre Sefer. He brought the document. Dr. Gemara, Chushim Berei the Don Taman. Don had a son named Chushim ben Don. Hava Yakun Lei Udne. He had difficulty hearing. Amma who? He said, "My high, what's going on over here?
Take it to the Lord.
What's going on over here? Why are we not going on with the burial?" But Amalei, come Akav Hai. This guy is holding us up. Ad the Osi Naftali me'ara the Mitzrayim, till Naftali will come from Mitzrayim. Amalahu, so he said to the people there, Ad the Osi Naftali me'ara the Mitzrayim, Yehei Avi Abba Mutal Bevizayan. Our grandfather should laying not getting buried. He has to get buried. Shoko Kofa, he took a baseball bat, a big piece of wood hastes, and Machye Aresha, and he gave Esav a zetz in the head with it. Notran Eine, the eyes of Esav popped out, V'nofu, and they fell Akara the Yaakov, on the feet of Yaakov. Paschina Yaakov Eine, Yaakov opened up his eyes, V'ochav, and he was like smiling. V'hainu diksiv, Yismach Tzadik, Ki Chaza Nokam Pa'amov. Yichas B'dam HaRasha. In other words, the tzaddik, when he sees the end of the Rasha, I mean, he rejoices. He rejoices. But Shah, at that moment when this happened, Niskaima also show Rivka. An expression that Rivka made was fulfilled. The Ksiv Shtetin Pasuk, she said, Loma Esra Gam Shneichem B'Yem Echad. Ezak the Gemara, but V'Afagav the Misosan Lo Yhavit B'Yem Echad, because Yankov died before already, and he died only now. But Kvurasam Mia B'Yem Echad Havoy. The burial was on the same day. Yes, practically Gemara. V'Iloi Osik Be Yosef Echad Voy Havim Misaska Bein. How come the brothers didn't do it? V'Ksiv Shtetin Pasuk V'Yisu Oisa Bonov Outso Canaan. And for the Gemara, Amr, the brother said, Hanicholei Kvoide B'Malachim Yosef Mibev Yotis. Let the majestic people deal with him, not us ordinary people. Then the Mishnah says, Migon Ugadol Yosef, that and that Moshe was Nisasing. It's quoting again this Mishnah. So Matana Rabbana, Boy Urei, come and see, Kama Chavivas Mitzvah al Moshe Rabbeinu. How Moshe loved a mitzvah. Shekol Yisrael Kulam Nisasku Bebizo. All of them were busy with the Bizos Hayam. V'hu Nisasik b'mitzvah shenem chacham reiv yikach mitzvahs. And that goes on Moshe Rabbeinu. So the Gemara, another story now. Minayin hoyi yodei Moshe Rabbeinu heichen Yosef cover. How did he know where he was buried? It said, Serach bas Asher, nishtayra me'osei adar. Serach bas Asher lived very long. She was left from the old generation when they had the burial of when Yosef died. Holach Moshe Etzra, Moshe went to her, and Amar Lo, he said to her, Klum at Yodas, do you maybe know Heichen Yosef cover where Yosef is buried? Amar Lei, Oren Shel Matches, Osu Lei, they made a metal casket for him, the Mitzrayim, B'kavul b'nilas, and they set it into the nilas, because they wanted that Kedei She Yizbachu Meimov. Mitzrayim didn't have water, and they were depending on the nilas, so they wanted that the nilas should be blessed with a lot of water, so they sunk the Oren in the nilas. Halach Moshe, v'amad asfas nilas, he stood by the board of nilas. Omar, he said, Yosef, Yosef, Higia ha'eis, shenishma hakadosh baruch hu, shani goyel eschem. It came the time of the Gula. Higia hashvua, sheishbat esesol, and now's the time that we have to fulfill the shvua that you made the Jews swear, that they should take balishim as asmoisim and ze'ivchem. Im ato mara atzmacha, if you will appear, mutav is good, Im Rav, and if not, we're free from the shvur. Miyad, sof arayna sheyosef. Right away, the autumn began to float up. And it said, "V'alta tama." Don't be surprised. Heich basel sof. How can iron float up? Iron is heavy; it goes down. So he says, Sharek Siv is a pasuk by Elisha. By he ha'acha mapel hakaira. One was knocking down a beam. The es habazo nafal elamayim, and the axe fell into the water. And what happened over there? Nafal elamayim. Aha adaini v'hu shol. Another, I borrowed it. It wasn't mine, so I got to return it. V'ama v'yayma ishol kim. That's what Elisha said. On a nafel, where did it fall? V'yarei, we showed him over there. It fell. As hamakim v'yiksev eish. So he chopped off a piece of wood. V'yashrech shama, and he threw it over there where the students showed him. And Vayatzef HaBazel, and the Bazel floated up. V'ledvarim kal v'chayma. Uma alisha tamida shel Yo. Yo tamida shel Moshe. So Bazel mipono. So name Moshe Rabbeinu alachas kama v'kama. Don't be surprised. Good, Moshe is great enough that he could make such a nest. That the Gemara, Rabbi Nosson Aimer b'kabinit shel malachim. There was a special place where kings were buried over there. Not in the water like it says over here. Hayakava. Halach Moshe v'amad al kavranit shel malachim. He stood over there by this special place where they're buried. Omar Yosef said, Higia Eis, Shenishma Kadosh Baruch Hu, Shanigaya Leschem. Vigia Shvua Shenishbalta Eshisol. Im Ato Mara Asvach Mutter. V'im Rav, Arayana Menukim, Mishvu Osach. But Eisa Shah, at that time, Nizdaza Arayna Shema, the Aron of Moshe, began to shake. Not like Moshe. So Moshe took it. And he brought it. He took it to him. All the years that the Yidden were midvah, they carried the Aron with them. That was the Shechina. And so people that came by and saw the Yidden traveling, and they have these two Aronis, so they asked, what's special about it? They said, Echad Shomes, one is Shomes, that was Yosef, Ve'echad Shel Shechina. So they said, so they asked the question, V'chima Daka Shomes, the Halach and Shechina, what do they got to? These two things, what's the connection between these two? They said, Kayim Zeh, Koma She Kosuv Vazeh. Okay. Now, before going further, I just want to explain. There's a little thesis here about Serach Basasha. And they asked over here a question that there were other people also from Yosef's family that were still alive. So why did he go to Serach Basasha? So it says that Moshe in the beginning couldn't find where the cave was. And there was also, Taisa says that there was a problem. There were people from Shevet Ephraim that they left Mitzrayim 30 years before. So he didn't know if really to do the Geula or not. Sarah Bashasha was the one that, when the brothers came back from Mitzrayim, that told Yaakov that Yosef is alive. So he benched her with Aricha Shomim, and she knew the secret to know if it's the Geula or not. Because Yosef said, Pokod Yifkoid. So if someone will come and said, Pokod Yifkoid, that's a simon that's it. They didn't know the secret, but she knew the secret. So therefore he went to Sarah Basasha to find out, to check out if it's authentic. Okay, let's go back to the Gemara.
Where's the second order? Second order. Where do we say that? Where is it coming from?
I don't know what you say.
How do you know? Where did it all of a sudden come that there was two Aronis?
This was before the Mishnah.
No?
No, it says that there were two Aronis. He said he understands.
Well, there was the Shechina, was the Aron, no? And there was the Aron Shel Yosef.
Aron, because that's when it was before.
When they traveled, when they took up part of the Mishkan, they carried.
But this is from Mitzrayim. They didn't. Afterwards.
So
he's saying that
when they came out of Mitzrayim,
they didn't have a Mishkan yet.
In the first and second year, they made the Mishkan already.
Later on,
we made it in the beginning. It was made in the beginning.
This is by the Leviathan.
No, it says that when they traveled, they saw. It doesn't say it was when they were going to the Leviathan. This is Joseph, not Yaakov. They were traveling in the midbar now with two Aronis. One of Yosef and one of the other.
Yeah.
It was after the creation of the Mishkan, when the Jews traveled, Goyim would ask, what is it?
The Mishkan was made in the first year. After the first year, there was Shavuos was Kabbalah Torah. and during the time after that, there was the Master the Egel.
Egel, right
And
after that.
then when Moshe came back, went Truma, like the Pashas go.
Yeah, good.
In fact, the Gemara, the Igay Osik by Moshe Yisrael, Habi Masaska Bay. How come the Jews didn't get involved? V'ksiv es Asmas Yosef, Asher Halu B'nei Yisrael Mitzrayim Kavru B'Shchem. State that the
B'nei
B'nei Yisrael did it. V'su Igay Isaska by Yisrael Bonav. Yosef had children. Ephraim and Manasseh. Where were his children? V'ksiv V'yiyu B'nei Yosef L'nacha. That they inherited his area where he's supposed to get. So he says, Amru, they said, Nichu loy kvaida b'merubim, Yosef mi b'mu'atim. B'nai Yisrael is merubim. There's many. There should be a big item involved in it. V'su Amru, Hanichu kvaida b'gdayim, Yosef mi b'ktanim. They consider themselves very humble and unimportant. And it says that Kavru b'Shchem, they buried in Shechem. In fact, the Gemara, Maishno b'Shechem, why it's in Shechem? Amar Rab Chama b'Chanina, because Meshchem Ganvur, V'Shechem Nachzu Avedasad. When Yaakov sent them to see his children, it was in Shechem. So they stole. That's when they stole them and they sold them. So let it be returned to Shechem. Yes, in fact, the Gemara, Kosher Kroy Adodi. There is a contradiction in the Psukim. Ein pasuk shtei vayikach Moshe Asmas Yosef Imai, and v'ksiv another pasuk says Asmas Yosef shehelu b'nei Yisrael. So who was it? It's a stira. So he says the Gemara Amar Rab Chama b'Chanina kol ha'oiseh dava v'gomer. If someone started and didn't finish, uba acher v'gomer. Someone came in and finished it. Mal ol v'kaser al she gomer. And the one that finished it, Ke'ilu Asa, as though he did it. And B'mela, being that Moshe didn't finish because he didn't go to Etzisol. Rabbi Lezer Omer, not only doesn't he get credit, but Afmaridin Osa Migdu Asa. He is demoted. Ksiv, Vahi Ba'esahi, Vayered Yehuda, it goes on Yehuda. Yehuda was the one that started saving Yosef. Yehuda said, "Ma betzakinara gesachinu," but the end was he didn't finish it. So Rabbi Shmuel ben Nachmani Amar Av Kaiva Ishta Yubana Chas v'Shalom, he loses his family. Iksiv Thomas Bashua Eshes Yehuda Uksiv Yamas Erbaina. They all passed away. So the Gemara Amar Rabbi Yehuda Amar Rav Mipnei Ma Nikra Yosef Atzamais B'chayav. He was called Atzamas, Atzmas Yosef. That the Gemara, Micha becovered of it, because he didn't protest when they didn't have covered for Yaakov Avinu. What does it mean? The Gomalei Avdecha Avinu. They said Avdecha Avinu, and he didn't say anything. That he let them keep talking. Boy, he didn't say anything to them. Amar Rabbi Yehuda Amar Rav, V'itema Rab Chama b'Rabchina, V'nei Ma Meish Yosef Koidem L'Echov, V'nei, he died 10 years before them, V'nei She'nog Atzma b'Rabbonos. He got involved in leadership, and you get involved in leadership, it's not the best thing. Now, one of the questions that they ask over there, the word Atzmas Yosef is only mentioned 5 times. I'm sorry. Avdecha Avinu is only mentioned 5 times. So why did he die 10 years before them? So the answer is because there was an interpreter. And not only did he understood them. So he heard them say it, and the interpreter also interpreted it, and he didn't protest anything. Okay, let's go back there. In Pasuk Shtei, Yosef Hurad Mitzrayim, Yosef was brought down to Mitzrayim. Amar Rab Elazar Altikri Hurad Elohayrid. Hayrid means he pulled them down. Shahayrid is tak nune pare migdul osam. All the kishemachas were all fired once Yosef came, because they couldn't interpret the pare's dreams, and Yosef did it. By Yekneo Paitifa Siris Pare. Why is it called Paitifa? Amar Amarav Shekone Atzman. He bought him for himself. Now he wanted to use him for znus. Let's get these by Bo Gabriel. Says Rashi, you don't have to say it. Bo Gabriel uparoi, and he made him sterile, that he couldn't have any relationship. Ksiv Paitifa, Ruvasoy Paitifera. So Paitifera is that he made him that he can't have children. So Tigmara, me going to go to me Moshe, Vayeme Hashem Elai Rav L'cha. So Tigmara, Oma, this was Chanan. When Moshe was praying to go to Eretz Yisrael, so the Eibusha said, Rav L'cha, enough, stop. So Amar Rav Levi, Berav Biser and Berav Bisruhu. He used this question, Rav, and that's why when the Eibusha spoke to him, the Eibusha, in other words, the Eibusha didn't like the question, Rav. What's the problem? Berav Bisa, where do we find that he used it? Because he said, Rav Lachem B'nei Kairach. And Berav Bisruhu, Rav L'cha. The Eibusha didn't like it. Even the Kairach, he should have not said enough, you know. Davaracha, Rav L'cha, Rav Yesh L'cha, you have already someone greater than you. Umana, who is it? Yeshua. Davaracha, Rav L'cha, Shavayema, Harav, Kama Kosha, V'Talmud, Kama Salvim. They shouldn't say on the Eibusha that the Eibusha is too strict over him. And the students begging him so much. Sagt the Gemara v'chol kach lama. Tana Rebbe Shmuel from Gamla Shichna. In other means, that you put the load on the camel according to how strong the camel is. Being that Moshe was so great and everything, so the Eibush was able to speak to him in a very strict way. Someone else would have collapsed from it. So he says, "Pasuk Vayter v'yem aleim b'mei v'esashana anoich hayom she'ein tal m'dleim hayom." Because I'm 120 years old, he'd have to say, today I became. He meant to say, "Hayom moru yoma u'shnoisai." V'gamdecho she'akadosh baruch hu mashlim she'seim she'sadikim miyom u'yom u'mechodesh u'chodesh. Iksiv es mispa yomecha amalei. I'll fill them up. Then he said, "Let's say for avoid." So tomorrow, my Lord says, what does it mean? I can't come and go. What does it mean by that? Elaim, Lord says, beloved, Mamish, he couldn't walk. So V'oksiv steht in Pasuk, Moshe b'mei v'es mishana b'moisei. Le'nos leicha, the liquid in his body didn't dry up. Uksiv b'yam Moshe me'avas Moav v'har Nevoi. Moshe went up from the mountain of Moav to the mountain of Nevoi. The Tanya, we learned, Shteim Eser Mailas Hayu, there were 12 steps over there. Uposa Moshe b'psiyachas, Moshe jumped them with one jump. So you see that he was very strong and healthy. Amr Reb Shmuel bar Nachmani, Amr Reb Yeshua, Lot says, V'Rabbi b'divrei Torah, I can't deal and argue and discuss divrei Torah. Melamed shenestatnu mimenu sharei chachma, that the gates of wisdom were hid from him. Shaitan Pasuk Vayelech Moshe v'Yeshua v'Yisyatzvu b'Oyel Moed. Rava Tana we learn. Also Shabbos, that Shabbos that Moshe passed away, shall do Zugad Hoysa. There were two leaders. Nitla Rishus Mizeh v'Nisna Lozeh. In other, there was a passing of the torch, so to say. Rabbi Yehuda, in Mogli Mikra Kosev, if not that the pasuk says this following thing, then you wouldn't be able to say it. The pasuk says it. No, the title was written by Hashem. He says, look, Heichen Moshe Meis. Where did Moshe die? Bechalkoi Shel Reuven. Moshe died in Eva Yarden. Eva Yarden belonged to God, Reuben, God, and Chotzi Menashe. So he died in the Chelek of Reuben. Because the Ksiva said in Pasuk, Vayal Moshe may Avos Mayav El Har Nevoi. Unevoi B'chalka Shal Reuben Kaima. The Ksiva B'nei Reuben Bonu so and so B'es Nevoi. V'heicha Moshe Kava. Where was Moshe buried? B'chalka Shal God. The Ksiv of God state Vayah Reishis Loi. He picked a piece, and over there, Moshe was buried. Was in Bracha. Umechalka shel Reuben achalka shel God, kama havi arba miun. That's a very big distance. Also, arba miun mi haricha. How did he move over from these two places? Melamed shehoya Moshe muto bekanfe shchina. Umalach Hashos Oimim Tzidkas Hashem also Mishpota B'm Yisrael. VaKadosh Baruch Hu Oimer Mi Yokamui Mireim Mi Yishatzabu and Payele Oven. Who will protect the bad people? Ushmul Amar Mika Chacham Yedeya Pesha Dover. Where is there such a Chacham that knows how to solve things? Rabbi Yochanan HaChachma Ma'ayin Timotze. Rabbi Nachman Amar Vayom Sham Moshe. And Samalia Amar Vayom Sham Moshe Safred Abadi Yisrael. Tanya Rabbi Lezer Gadol Eimer Shnei Masamil Keneged Mach. The whole, there was a loudspeaker announcing the whole size of the Machne Yisrael, Mashmiya v'Oimer, v'Yomas Moshe Safra Rabba the Yisrael, and so who brought him? Who this was the Eibishter. State b'Yeshanon loymes Moshe. Moshe didn't die, and Ksiv Hacha v'Yomas Sham, Ksiv Hasam v'Hi Sham im Hashem. So Mala Halan Oymed Meshamish, he was over there serving. Afkan Oymed Meshamish. Then it says Vayik Ba'isa Begai Be'eretz Moyav Mul Beis Par opposite the Avodah Zarah Par Omra Brachia Simen B'Tech Simen. You have all this exact simonim to tell you the location. Afilu Hochi V'Yoda Ish Eskfer also. Nobody knew, they couldn't find it. And he says, there was the governor of Beispar, they sent to him, maybe you could tell us, it's your area, maybe you could tell us where he's buried. They said, show us Heichel Moshe Kover, Amdu L'mayla, so they went up on the mountain, and Nidmulahem L'mata, they saw that he's down on the bottom. And then they went down. So it's Nechakol Shtei Kitas, some here and some there.
Each one.
And Lamato Nidbulahem Lamaila. Kaya Mashanema. Nobody knew where he was buried. And there's a Agos Abachia that says that the reason why the Yodish Kurosai, that they shouldn't go Mispalo over there, that they should take us out of Golos. There's a big, you see, there's a long Agos Abachia. You see that this long Agos Abach?
The Mashiach they shouldn't die for Mashiach?
They didn't have Refson.
Refson wouldn't
let it happen. So Refson didn't live those days. If Refson was there, he would know where he was buried. He would have gone there. Refson wasn't there, so he couldn't help.